Well, greetings, greetings. Comment allez-vous? Je vais très bien, merci. Hey, it's good to see you all. All of you who are new, we are happy that you're here, and we hope that you had a great week. But we plan to make it better for you. We plan to make it better. But in usual fashion, you all, if you haven't been here before, you know how we start the show. We start with our drinks. So if you don't have your drinks, I'm gonna give you about 3 seconds to go ahead and get you a glass of water out the faucet and pretend you're drinking some cognac or something. But anyway, here's to everybody on the line. And DeGeorgia, you see what I'm drinking? This is that Blue Moon. Yeah, but anyway, we hope you had a great week so far. We are going into our 3rd year now. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue on the way we do it. But we got a little something special for you tonight. And we'll tell you about that a little later on. But first of all, last week we discussed whether or not gentle parenting was better than traditional parenting. And in summary, we found out that is the best method is to use a combination of the two. All right? To use a combination of the two. So we think that if you missed the discussion, we think that you'll probably gain something from it. It was very interesting, and we were happy to bring it to you and shed some new light on some things you may not have thought about. But anyway, we're going to get into it because this is going to hit hard and heavy. We're talking about whether or not you can go back after someone who has betrayed your trust, whether or not you can forgive them and move on. Do you hold that resentment? Now, we've had previous discussions on loyalty, and I think loyalty and trust are 2 separate things. But I could be wrong. But we're going to go into this trust thing, so you all hold on, okay? Hey, Miss O'Neill.
Hey, wait a minute.
Miss O'Neill, can't hear you.
Hey, wait a minute.
Come on, get it together now. Get it together.
Hold on, Cletus. Hold
All right, how you calling me Cleveland? What's wrong with
on.
you?
Hold on, Cletus.
Yeah. So I hope you had a good day today. Was your day okay?
Well, because I'm making good trouble.
Okay. Hey, that's what Representative John Lewis said. There ain't nothing wrong with getting into
Yeah,
some.
yeah, but I'm making good trouble in Ayula fashion. You know what I'm saying? That's my
Oh
grandmama
yeah.
right there. That
Oh
that
yeah.
bad right there. You know Ayula.
I know. I know. I've heard so much about it, and I've met
And
her.
look,
So I
look,
know.
and on top of that, I'm drinking my Hennessy out my red cup from Auntie Hattie B's.
Oh no, not at the red cup.
Auntie Hattie B red
When
cup.
you
Y'all
start
know that
drinking out
song
them
there.
red and blue, when you start drinking out them red and blue,
Bootleg cup.
you know the next thing you see, right? Ask
What?
me what?
What?
Them red and blue lights.
Hey, what up?
Hey,
Look, they
Keith, what's
better not
happening,
be
bro?
shining up in
And
here.
guess what? When you drink that
What?
Hennessy out that red cup, if you're not drinking it fast, it's gonna leak out that red plastic cup. If you got the
No, it ain't,
plastic,
because it's going to be gone in
that's what
5
I'm
minutes.
saying. That's why you gonna see them red and blue lights because you're gonna get hit because you're drinking it before it's gonna leak through the cup.
Okay. Ain't nobody talking about y'all. Ain't nobody talking to y'all.
Get your Hennessy on, girl. Get it
Yeah,
on.
like I said, listen, I've been getting in good trouble.
Okay. Hey, your background sounds real good. You must be in a different place because you
I
sound.
done got the 5G Verizon. The 5G Verizon. If y'all need new internet, I'm gonna tell y'all, go to Verizon. Simple as just plugging it in and setting it up. Yep. That part.
5G.
5G Verizon. Go ahead with that, man.
No, actually, no, it's actually good now.
All right. Well, hey, we ain't on here trying to promote no doggone Verizon. We trying to promote.
Let me just drink out my red
So is that
cup.
how you operate at your crib, DeJoya? You just have the internet and use a smart TV, so you don't have cable?
No, I don't.
Nobody down south got cable no more, Keith. Everybody use the app.
Well, wait, take that
Oh no,
back.
it's the
Take that
same
back.
up here too. That's why I was just asking. It's the same up here too.
Hold on. 2 people got it though. 2 people got it. Y'all know what 2 people got it?
Who?
My auntie, them, and my grandmama. They
You
got
can't
it.
count them. You can't count them. We're talking about some people who ain't got one foot in the grave.
Well, okay. Well, I got both.
Hey, I can't talk because I got one in there too, but we all right. Yeah.
Mr. G said I got one in there too. So Mr. G, they talking about hey, we talking about our head, but I got one in there too. So we all right.
Yeah. Hey,
They just switch the channel. Listen, let's just switch the channels and talk about loyalty and all that and blah blah blah. So we can talk about throwing grits and beating with the pot and blah blah blah. Go ahead.
We ain't talking about no pot.
Would you say you want to hit somebody with a pot? You sounding violent already, and ain't nothing happened.
And we ain't
And
even
y'all
start.
seen Medea where she taught her how to hit them with the pot with them grits in it?
Lord have mercy.
Come on now, y'all seen Medea.
Hey, Keith,
I'm just drink out of my red hat.
Look,
It's that red cup, Mr. G.
only thing
like
we
you
can do is
said,
pray. We
red
gotta
cup,
pray
man.
for it, man. We gotta pray for it. Should be all right.
Yeah.
Okay, but on to our discussion for this week. And the question is, can you trust someone again after they betrayed your trust? And inquiring minds wants to know. If so, will you always keep it in the back of your mind or completely forgive them? Now I know a lot of people they're gonna have mixed feelings about this because every situation and all circumstances differ. And it depends on your chemical and biological, genetic code, all those things, how you accept betrayal and breach of trust. But the way we answer this question, y'all listen up, the way we answer this question might tell us more about ourselves than it will about other people. And we're going to talk about it a little bit to make you kind of second guess how we do things. Or how we think about people who betray our trust. When someone betrays our trust, of course, it's always someone close to us. We don't care about people who we don't know that well, but it always is either a family member or a friend or a close confidant or someone that you have some kind of relationship with that's very close. Because otherwise it would not matter. But when it happens, it's very disappointing, it's painful in some cases, and can cause and have devastating results. Now look, some people, as I said earlier, may carry the resentment and disappointment into future relationships. See, this is the problem that most people don't understand. If you don't release your trauma, if you don't release your heartbreak, then, then of course, we know throughout history, it repeats itself. So when we forgive someone for breaching or breaking our trust, it's not for them.
You all right over there?
Yeah, it went down the wrong fight, but I'm good now. I got a little hair on my chest.
Suck it up. Let's go.
But yeah, so we know that we are disappointed, but we don't understand that when we forgive people, it's not for them. It's not for them. When Jesus died on the cross, what he said? He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He didn't say forgive them for me, because they did me a dirty deed and I was all goodness and they just took advantage of the situation and crucified me, and we're not going to turn it into a biblical discussion, but I just wanted to point that out. he said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So we know that it's disappointing and is resentful, but we cannot carry it into our future relationships. If you do, what kind of results do you expect? And that's what we want to harp on. I know it's hard, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that things are easy and you should be able to do it and turn the other cheek, because I'm for one, I don't turn my cheek too many times. But we have to understand that forgiveness is not for them, it's for us. We are creatures.
Well,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to say I'm gonna forgive y'all for not telling me my nose look this damn big inside this TikTok screen. I'm gonna forgive
Well, that
y'all though,
means
because
you're
I
too
know
close to
y'all
your
seen it,
doggone.
but
You're too close to your phone.
no, that just means my nose too big. It them black moles coming out. But secondly, I just want to say, with the trust and forgiving people, and I'm only saying this, it depends on all different situations.
You're breaking up now, so I don't know what happened. You got
I
your
can't say. Well,
yeah,
for me, I
some
can say that if something happens of that sort, it did it just happen? It messed up.
no, it's right now. It was
Are we
gerbil a moment ago. But go ahead.
okay? But no, I wanted to say, for many things, I can forgive people.
No, you got something going on. I don't know what you doing. You
I
need
don't
to
know
turn
what
off
it
your
is.
Wi-Fi. All
If I
right.
go back out and come back, hold on. Well, go ahead and talk. Let me see if I can do it without going off the
Just
talk.
be stable and stop moving. Whatever you're doing,
Go
it
ahead.
sounds like you're moving. All
I'm
right.
not moving. I'm not moving. I haven't moved, not once.
Well, I hear you now. I hear you loud and clear. Go
But
ahead.
yeah, I can say I won't.
Uh, as soon as I give you a compliment, your doggone Wi-Fi, whatever you got going on, start acting up. But anyway, let me carry this discussion on. So we are created to be vulnerable with the people we love and trust. We're only vulnerable with the people that we love and trust. We aren't vulnerable to people that we don't know or really care about. So we have to understand that when trust is betrayed, it's always somebody that we care about or somebody that we're close to. Now, here's the kicker. The way that we're raised and the way that we feel about ourselves, we have our own moral compass. And that compass helps us to decide whether or not we're going to be resentful or whether or not we're going to be compassionate in those situations. And I want everybody to understand, we're not saying that it's easy to do. It is very difficult to do, but you got to get to it to get to the next level. And I mean that with all sincerity. None of us on this live have mastered those things, but we're close to our understanding and how it works. And that's why we're able to not get too upset, not to get all bent out of shape when we're betrayed. Because I understand that we're all creatures that are flawed, and we're all going to make mistakes at some particular point in time. Now, the reason I said I made the distinction between loyalty and trust. Loyalty doesn't have to be, when they betray your loyalty, it doesn't have to be a malicious or intended to hurt you. When loyalty is broken, it could be because we have that self-serving bias, and people may feel that their decision or whatever they decide to do is in their best interest. Now, and that's fine. Now, everybody don't go, oh, no, loyalty, you should be loyal to. Listen, it's nothing that we all wouldn't do ourselves. If we don't do it intentionally, but if we do, we don't do it with the intent to hurt. Let me see, can I bring Miss O'Neal back on? Keith, you want to go ahead and add something real quick or what?
Yeah, I think every situation is different with what you're talking about right now. Because, and then also I think it matters how old you are, because there could be things that happen. We were teenagers or kids or, in our 20s that don't even apply now. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of whatever it was, So I think we treat or should treat every situation for what it is. And the biggest thing is, no matter what happens, when you hold on to it and hold on to resentment, it's like we always talk about. It's like you drinking poison and hope the other person dies, right?
Absolutely.
So even if the person is still wrong, you have to let it go, because as we've said before, forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for us. So no matter what happens, we still got to let it go to move on, because we can't carry weight and then try to, do other things in certain instances, right? So, but obviously, if someone breaks your trust and you allow them back into the circle, once again, I think it's situational. And I think it's also based on true remorse, and you have to rebuild that. So the trust has to be rebuilt. But in order for it to be even allowed to be rebuilt, there has to be a resolving of what it is. And if that person is showing true, genuine remorse, and you can see it, you got to give people a chance. Because if we live in a world where nobody gets a second chance, well, we wouldn't be living, because all of us have done wrong at some point. We got a second chance.
Absolutely. Amen. Amen. But see,
So I think we have to be careful.
Here's the other thing. You said one of the most important things, and that's that, it has to be rebuilt. So, and again, all of us are fallible. All of us are weak at times, particularly when it comes to love. So we all get that period of weaknesses throughout our lives. But the thing is, if we always remember that if I forgive you, I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it to cleanse myself so that I can feel good about the situation and I can forgive you and let that particular episode just dissipate. Because if you don't, we end up carrying it forward. And that's the most damaging thing that you can do in your relationship, because really you're not giving the other person an opportunity. You're already judgmental based on your life experiences. So if you see something that's similar to that, then what's going to happen? You're going to already prejudge and try to figure out what's going to happen next because of your experiences. And that's unfair to anyone that you meet that is new and you're trying to love. I did a post not too long ago. It says you really don't know how difficult it is to love someone who's been damaged. You really don't know how difficult it is to love someone who's damaged. And I say that for the very reason that I just explained. People don't know how to let go. And people are resentful and hateful, and they want an eye for an eye and all of that. So they never get past their resentment, and they never get into the phase of forgiving. So if you don't ever get to that level of forgiving, how do you expect someone to forgive you? Because we're all going to make mistakes. Now, don't get me wrong. Someone that does you a dirty deed and kind of takes advantage of the situation because you're genuine, particularly women and soft-spoken males or people who are non-aggressive. People somehow take that for weakness. And So it becomes very difficult because they're always accosted by people who feel that, okay, I can get away with it and there's no consequences. I'm a firm believer. If you do something wrong, there should be consequences. And I don't make that up because that's solely the way I feel. I know that we are creatures who are built on reward and punishment. So if I do something wrong, I expect to get punished. If I do something good, I expect to be rewarded. Go ahead, DeJoya, now that you're back. Turn your mic on. Okay, you having difficulty still yet. I see your mouth moving, but nothing's coming through. Do you have it muted? Do you have your volume up? What do you have going on? Hey, you must have made somebody mad today because you done started on that Hennessy too early. I know you can hear me, but we can't hear you. All right, go out and come back in. And we're going to continue our discussion because there's something you're doing that ain't right. So, as I was saying, it's easy to become resentful. But if we understand that if we forgive that individual, it's not because we're forgiving them for them, we're forgiving them for us. Now, when our trust is broken, most people experience a mixture of emotions, mental, and even physical reaction. Have you ever met someone who was really, and you don't understand why they're that emotionally tied to anything where I've heard stories, I've never witnessed this myself, where people break out in hives. I've seen people cry hysterically, so it affects you physically and emotionally when that trust is broken or breached. All right? Now, we're going to talk about some responses, but first let me try Miss O'Neill one more time. Okay, I think she should have it now. But anyway, so when our trust has been broken, the ordinary or natural response.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, we can hear you now. Here are some of the natural responses, but this is not all of them inclusive. This is some of them that people kind of default to when things happen. First of all, when your trust is betrayed, particularly from somebody that you care about and somebody close to you, the first thing is this disbelief and a feeling of shock, being shocked. Like, how could that person do this to me? When I trusted them so much, how could they? We've all heard that, and we all probably have thought it at one time or another when that happens to us personally. It's hurt and sadness, anger or resentment, and a loss of trust. So as Keith so eloquently said, it has to be rebuilt because there's a loss of trust once it's breached. We feel wounded because betrayal often comes from the people who are closest to us, as I was alluding to all along. And it angers us because we feel frustrated because we've been taken advantage of and are deceived. When somebody deceives you, it's like a dagger in your heart because you don't expect it, first of all. And the question we always ask is, I haven't done anything to deserve it. And why could this person do that to me? Go ahead, Miss O'Neill. Let's see if you got yours set up right.
I don't know. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah.
All right. So I turn the Wi-Fi off. But I mean, for me, it's very hard to it's very hard to forgive somebody after if after I've been betrayed or after they betrayed me or whatever. But then I have to think about how much is this person willing worth me sacrificing. Do I really love them that much? Him or her. It does. Do I really love them that much, or do I really feel like we can rebuild this? And I mean, I can get past it, whatever we've got going on, if we both can agree that, it's worth saving and we can try to get past it and talk about it. I think the hardest thing to do is getting both parties to talk about it and admit fault. You
But how
know,
how do
and
you decide whether or not it's worth it or not? In that moment, I know most
that moment,
ordinary.
go ahead.
What? Yeah, you're breaking up again.
Like, I was in that moment.
Do you have your TV on or something?
I was talking about
You got your TV or computer on? All right. Okay. We can. All right.
and it's just me. But
Yeah.
no, I was just saying, in that moment, your emotions are going, and
And you need
you
to
say
stay
you're not
right
gonna
where you
forget a
are right
person and
now.
this and that and
Wait,
the
hold
other.
on for a minute. You need to
I'm
stay.
not.
All right. Go ahead.
You know what?
I'm just telling you, it don't
If
happen
I
when you're right there. Go
I'm
ahead.
right here, but if I don't, if I talk, then I'm gonna move. Then it's gonna go out. Why
You
you
ain't
looking
got
like you
nothing to
playing
say.
one, two,
Your
three red
phone
light?
on.
What?
Put your phone on a stand or don't propped up against your drinking glass or something. Lord
Then
have
how I'm gonna drink? You know what? Just
don't drink
forget it.
no
Just pick up the pieces you can pick up. Shit.
more.
But nah, I was just saying, shoot, pick up the pieces in between the static. That's the most important pieces. Whatever you pick up. Now,
Alright,
I got CRS trying to remember what I'm trying to say. I can't remember stuff.
alright.
Anyway,
Don't cuss on you.
anyway,
You
I
start.
said stuff. I said stuff. But in that moment, yeah, your emotions are going and everything. But I don't know. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve a little bit sometimes, but then I guard my heart, then I let it out. So I just have to. I guess you just have to decide if it's worth keeping that person or not. For you, you have to weigh the pros and the cons. You know.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah, but
you know.
this call when we feel that we've been betrayed, this causes us to become more cautious. First of all, guarded and suspicious in future interactions. So that's the part what I'm talking about. If you have that kind of situation and it's happened to you, you can't afford to carry it into your next relationship because that's not giving the new individual a fair shake. And you're judging him based on past experiences and you're looking for the same result. So how can we get better when we've already said we know what the conclusion is going to be? We already know what the outcome is going to be because we've experienced this type of behavior before. So I know he's going to leave, or I know he's going to get violent with me, or I know these things are going to happen. We can't live our lives like that because every situation is new and every day is a new day. Also, even though we're suspicious in future interaction, we withdraw completely or become distant in future relationships and the current one. If someone betrays you, we become distant and we become, we completely withdraw without communication, without any resolution or anything that's going to resolve the situation. But despite all of those emotions that we feel, despite all of that, I don't care how great you can deal with it. I don't care how strong your exterior is. I don't care how independent you are. When we are betrayed, we all have a desire to understand, why did they do it? Is that not true? No matter what happens, and I thought about it after I did the research on it. I said, yeah, that is true. I'm always curious as to what provoked that individual to do that. So we never, ever avoid that question. Is that true to you all? I know it's true in my situation.
Yeah, it's true for me. I can't. It seems like I don't have closure until I know why. And then sometimes even when I find out why, I'm like, that's a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
I want to know that it's a sincere reason why.
right,
And, so I can get past what's going on. But then when I get to the next relationship and this happened, when I get to the next relationship or the next part of my life, because I had gone through what I went through, I wanted to understand why that person picked me. Like, well, why did you pick me? Because I know I messed up, or it seemed like I messed up. You start blaming yourself for what happened sometimes. Especially
right.
us women.
That's the
You know,
next thing I was going to discuss, because we try to make sense of the situation. So,
yes,
as humans, what we try to do, we try to make sense of everything and how we relate to anything in this world. So, if something happens to us, which we do not understand, we try to make sense of why it happened. So, a lot of times, more often than not, we make excuses. How many times have we seen that? Oh, he really didn't mean it. Everybody's seen the Ike and Tina Turner movie. He really did mean it. That's his way of showing that he loves me. And I tell people all the time, if it don't feel good, it ain't love. I ain't never seen nobody get punched and felt that it feels good. So,
that's why in the end she beat him with that shoe. That's why you seen. That's why them
you
high
must
heel
be a
came.
movie buff, because you know
Huh?
all the movies.
She beat the hell out of him.
All right. I guess he
Yeah,
knew not to do that again then. So
that part.
yeah, we're always searching for the reasons why, so that we can understand that behavior. And more important than that, we want to understand why we contributed, or how did we contribute to that behavior of betrayal and dishonesty. And I've done this early in my life. I look at it and I used to dismiss it and pretend that it wasn't important to me. But again, as I said, we all have that desire to know why it happened to us. Sometimes we even retaliate. We retaliate, i.e., Tina Turner, Angela Bassett in whatever, what was that movie that she burnt the
What's
dude?
love got to do with it?
Yeah.
And waiting to exhale when they sang that song.
Yeah,
Waiting to
wait.
exhale.
And
Waiting
she
to
and
exhale.
she
Yeah.
set their clothes on. She set his clothes on fire.
Yeah. Waiting to exhale for sure. Yeah.
That was
That
the
was like
best.
damn near the beginning of the movie. Yeah.
That
Hmm.
was the best.
So it's
Yeah.
always that possibility of retaliation. It creeps in our mind. A lot of times we don't act on it, but it creeps in our mind. What can I do to get even? I mean, man, I can't tell you how many, when I, as a younger cat back in the day, man, you did something to me, I'm going to find a way. And that's just the way I used to live my life. But, maturity and growth helps you understand some things are not even worth your time or your effort. So we do have that in our minds sometimes. And people want revenge to get even. They want to get even. Almost, it might only be a thought. Most people don't act on it. The reason we might feel that a lot of people do is because that's what we see on social media, what we see on television, and those things are publicized. But there are a lot of situations where people think of some wayward behavior, but they never act on it. Over time, now this is important. So I'm knocking on wood, keep stomping the floor. Over time, people either become hardened, become more guarded, and less trusting. That's not in just that relationship or with that individual. That's in
Everything.
life. Huh?
Yep. In everything.
Yeah. And I'm sure you can speak on it being a female because I know how it has to be, particularly if you depend on somebody and they betray that trust and that dependability is no longer there and you're in a situation that you don't deserve to be in. So I can feel how someone may very well act on their retaliation in some case when your life becomes upended because of that betrayal. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, for me, my heart is colder. You know what I'm saying? And my feelings are numb when it comes to something. Cause I'll say some stuff and Sugar will be like, you just don't care what you say. You just don't give a damn, you know. And I'll be like, well, no, well now we gonna go get something to eat, And it ain't that I don't care. I just it's
Hey,
not that I
hey,
don't care.
hey, we
Huh?
say that we say that here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I don't care. I just am numb to the lovey dovey kind of feelings. I have my moments where I can be, soft and intimate or whatever. But most of the time, I'm back to that. Well, honey, let's keep business moving. Kind of thing.
Right.
And that's only because of what I've gone through already. I feel like I've exalted all my soft feelings. I gave that all away. So, if I can just keep myself in a certain mode, I won't get hurt again. And if he goes or if he hurts me, hey, I'll be already in that mode where I can just pick up and just go on because
What
I
you
can't.
say? Hey,
Huh?
Keith, what do you say about that? Is that how you deal with it too? If somebody broke your trust, what is your default? I mean, what? I know you're older now, so it's probably different from when you and I were younger. I know we were acted a totally different way, but I'm talking
Younger than both of us. What you
about, huh?
talking about?
Yeah, but it was what
You
you
younger
said
than both
initially.
of
I
us.
mean, you thinking about how to get back, maybe revenge. You considered getting even. Yeah, and we were taught eye for an eye and all that different stuff. And depending on what the betrayal was, you may feel disrespected. So now it's not
Yeah.
just about the betrayal. And then if other people know about the betrayal, oh man,
Oh, it's different.
how you going to look? So now part of your decision making is based on two. Is it a situation where you think you might look like, quote unquote, a punk and look like now everybody can punk you? Hey,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Oh yeah.
so look, I look at it like this overall. I think we all do learn and grow, but I think we have to look at it from a natural perspective because you have different levels of people who are at different levels of growth. It's okay to feel that you want to react back. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to say, I want to get back at them. It's okay to do that. But what we have to all learn as people is no matter what age we are, we got to be careful and not make emotional decisions because anger is an emotion and anger is also controllable. The person betrayed you, but that didn't make you angry. You made yourself angry. And that's what a lot of people
Oh,
don't
say
realize.
that again now. Say that
The
again.
person betrayed you. That ain't why you angry. You made yourself angry because of the things that you're talking about all these other things. And people have to learn it's not about anybody else. Everything in life is about you and how you handle yourself and react to it. That don't mean that they ain't wrong. But what did
Absolutely.
Jesus say? Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So
Amen.
if you start looking at it from the perspective of sometimes that people that do wrong to us, it's like, wow, when you grow, you start thinking, I wonder what they going through. You know what I'm saying? Like if you speak to
Exactly.
the person at the store and they don't speak back to you, I said like you know how you said something somebody the other day. I said, oh, homie must have had an argument with his girl or something. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it didn't bother me. And I said, yo, what up, homie?
Right.
He looked at me, like you know what I mean? Oh, okay, maybe he had an argument with his girl or something. And we ultimately also we don't know what people are going through the same way they don't know what we're going through. So for me, this is how I look at everything in life. And I've kind of always been this way to an extent.
Right.
If I expect grace or understanding, I try to also give it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm giving grace and understanding when you flat out broke a promise or certain things are just like there's no explanation for it. You knew what you were doing and
Right.
you did it. You understand? So I'm not talking about those direct line extreme situations that there's nothing to discuss. I'm talking about some situations too. When we say trust, everybody's definition of trust is different. So the person that did what they did, they may not view it as a breach of trust based on what the situation is. So we got to be careful how we allow ourselves to get into these, I like to call it the matrix, because a lot of times when we get into that matrix, that's where the enemy wants us to go. And we're going to take the wrong pill and then we're going to be messed up. Some people lose more time than others before they realize they lost time. Some people don't realize they lost time. And then they look back and say, well, why didn't I achieve that? Or why didn't I do this? Well, because you're not dealing with your resentment and your anger too well. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey Keith, what did you say? I wanted to expand on that, but I can't remember what it was.
When I
What?
said about the person did wrong to you, but that ain't why you angry. You made
Oh
yourself
yeah.
angry.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to say this about that. That is so very true. Listen, we're only in control of our actions. Anything outside of ourselves, we are not in control of. You can't make somebody love you. You can't stop somebody from lying to you. You cannot stop somebody from being a dirtball. All of those negative things that we detest and find disgusting. But what we can do, we can always control our response to it. Now that takes some mastery. When you get to the point of where you can control your response and you don't think emotionally, as we said earlier, if you use your emotions to navigate through this life, you're not going to have a very good life because your emotions are there for protection. They're not there to help you make decisions. Your logic is there, and your spirituality and the God within you is there to help you make decisions. Your emotions protect you.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, they give you warnings. They let you know when something doesn't feel good or something isn't right. But they're not there for you to take a course of action based on that emotion. They're there so that they can warn you. You use your logic, your spirituality, and your common sense to say, I need to make this choice rather than the other choice. That's why young people, they and the system understands this. Any system, when you're talking about the foundational home, when you're a kid, your mother and father understand that you're going to take the cookie when she told you not to. So it's forgiving. When you're new at the job, you're young in that job, so it's more forgiving. They don't act on their emotions. They don't say, well, nah, we're going to nail you to the cross because you didn't get that report in. They understand if I had to assign it to you, that came with risk because I know that you're a new employee. And I've had people work for me before, and I had to default to that individual because my ace in the hole was not available. So when I did that, I tried to train them up as best as I could as far as letting them know this is how it works, this is what the timelines are, this is our deadline, this is what needs to be accomplished. Now, if they fail in any one of those areas, I already know that that was a possibility.
because you're not judging them on the total mission. You're judging them on their level. So
Uh,
you as the leader already saw what they were capable of and you knew what you were giving them and may press the envelope. If they succeed, great, you're going to encourage them and build them up. But if it doesn't go bad, you're still going to eat that anyway and still build them up because you were testing their level.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better. That is exactly right. So as a
I
leader,
think, but I
right,
think you and I had a conversation about like similar to that today, and I was saying I had a good day regardless. You know what I mean? How was your day? I had a good day regardless. I had a great day. I had a great this. I think that even though we're talking about this in terms of relationship, like we're saying, it goes into your everyday life and everyday aspects. So if you can learn to apply it every day when you have an upset in a relationship or friendship or whatever you call it, you'll know how to handle it better. So because I'm learning to handle life better without so much anger, without so much, well, I mean, I'm always be aggressive with stuff. Y'all know that's just me. I
that's
put
just
the
your
pants
nature.
aside. Huh?
That's your nature to be aggressive.
Yeah, I'm that lion that's on the prowl, that panther, all of them. I don't know which one I want to be. Do I want to be a panther, leopard, whatever? But anyway, whatever one, okay, whatever one I'm being at that time. But I'm learning to put my emotions, in the pocket. Like when it comes to my day to day operations, I don't care what they come in. Like, oh hey, how you doing? I'm still gonna have a good day. I'm still gonna smile. I'm still gonna this. Even if somebody like send me to the house the way I should be really mad, really ticked off. Now I just go laugh it off, go sit down, I'm good. But it's taken a long time for me to do that. So now that I have learned to apply it in my everyday life, I can kind of put it in my relationships and into all relationships that I have, in life, whether it's work or personal or anything. So I think that goes without being said. You got to learn to apply it everywhere, not just in one place, you know.
Yeah. And the thing is, I caution people on this all the time. When I counsel people, when I talk to my friends and family members, the best thing that you can do for yourself when it comes to dishonesty, trust, and all of those different things that affect our lives and the way that we live and the way that we feel about other people, to understand that your emotions are just warning signals. Your emotions are not to be used to make any decision, even when we are fearful. You don't, and when you act on your fear, what 9 times out of 10, what happens? You gonna get messed up because you're thinking too irrational.
Yeah.
When you're in love, if you don't know how to control your emotions, what happens? You're gonna do something really stupid. You're gonna burn up his clothes and set his car on fire.
Okay.
We know that's going to happen, but that's an emotional response. That's not an intelligent response. Are you going to go flatten all 4 tires and they're going to find out it was you? And you're going to do the weekend in jail and you're going to have to buy some more tires and all of that. It comes a whole lot of stuff. But if you talk to someone who's angry in that moment because of that betrayal, they what they're gonna say? Well, he deserved it. She deserved it. That's what they. Well, how many times we heard this? That's what they get. If you're talking to your girl, I would have did the same thing. No, you wouldn't have. Not if you got a good paying job and you got a family and you got all of those things to look forward to. People who ain't got
But the
nothing.
sad thing is when you do that, when you do stuff, because y'all know back in my younger day, I ain't gonna tell on myself, you know. But when you do it and you think about it, you think about that was dumb. That was so
Yeah,
dumb.
yeah.
The time, the time that I wasted to go find a rock or a stick to key his car or my credit card, and then I messed up my credit card, and that made it even worse. You know, so I'm just, I'm just, I'm just
You
saying
messed
I
up
messed
your
up my
credit card.
yeah, I messed up my own credit card, keying his car because I keyed it so hard I broke my card. But and then I had to wait on another card. I had to wait 7 days for the car. I was pissed for
Hey,
seven
hey, now
days.
you see how that unnecessary became necessary in your life?
Yeah, I'm just saying I was mad for 7 days. I was mad at myself because one thing I learned, if I'm gonna mess up something, it ain't gonna be my own stuff. But I mean, I done changed,
Hey, look,
huh?
I learned that early, DeJoya. I learned, hey, look, my homies and my OGs and my pops, they said, look here, you know, why even you in your car and you mad at somebody, so you burning rubber and doing wheelies and all that, you tearing up your own car. Why?
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
so yeah, I learned I ain't finna mess my own self up, emotionally, physically, financially. Cause I could never tell a lie. Cause every time he would find out I did it, I could never lie. Cause I end up laughing in the midst of the lie. I get tickled at my own self, and
hey,
he be steaming, I'd be just tickled, But in the end, I ended up suffering from that. Cause the universe will show you, even though the person might have been wrong or whatever, it's not up to you to pass judgment or, to decide the punishment. Even though we want to, as adults and as I've grown spiritually, that's another thing. You have to um, embrace spirituality totally. And when I say embrace spirituality, a lot of people say, oh, I believe in the universe. I believe in God, I believe in this, but the things you do don't show that you do. Therefore, your reward won't show that you do or show that you're deserving. So I just have learned that I would rather be rewarded by the man
Uh-oh.
upstairs than something, physically or material or whatever.
Uh-oh.
Just give me that. You know,
Uh-oh.
I'm
You
just
didn't,
saying.
no, you didn't did it because you didn't went where I was hesitant to go a little bit because I
Yeah,
didn't want to get too deep, but you didn't did
oh
it now.
no,
You didn't did it.
she took you
yeah,
there,
but
Keith.
I'm gonna
yeah,
piggyback on what she's saying when
yeah.
she done. She didn't did it.
Yeah,
And I'm
that was.
not gonna forget what I was gonna say. She did it.
Yeah.
She didn't did
And
it.
so, so that was my lesson. The more that I responded with my emotions and of what was of the earth, the less I received spiritually, the less I slept at night, the less I grew, the less I was rewarded, or the less I received, my blessings. So if you want to cut your own blessings off just to try to show somebody what they deserve, then you do it by all means necessary. But it's just something I learned not to do, you know. Yeah.
Ain't really too much for me to say after that because she didn't pretty much covered it. You block your blessings. There's some people out there right now saying why they ain't get to where they want to get. All they got to do is think about who they mad at.
Yep.
Man,
And
think about
why? And
think
why
about
are you
that
mad?
gossip that they was on the phone gossiping. Think
Yeah.
about when they was at the last cookout, how they was on the side talking about, girl, I can't believe she here. Look at her hair. Look how she looking.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
like
yeah,
all
and
that
don't let
stuff
people
blocks
bring
all
them
your
back.
blessings.
You
All of
get
it.
them people, they say, I'm gonna pray for you. They don't be praying for you, they be praying on you.
Yep.
I hear that all the
Yep.
time, and I know it's probably some people out there from DeKalb County watching, and I hope you hear this, but they'll be able, oh, I'm gonna pray for you, oh Lord this and Lord that, and then they turn around and they go and they pray on you. You know what I'm saying? You going through something, so you think you're venting, and then they go and they go pray on you after that. So you have to understand where that little wordplay goes. And just because somebody say they gonna pray for you, they just want to hear whatever else you going through, so they can go talk about it with the next person. Sometimes sometimes you have to keep your struggle silent. Sometimes when you struggle in silence, the victory is greater than when you struggle out loud.
All the time.
So,
Keep
so
everything. Never talk about the
yeah,
struggle until after you have the victory. You never talk
yep.
about the struggle till after you have
Yep.
the victory.
We have to learn that, especially like in times like right now. And as you're older now, we have to understand that as we settle and want to settle in our life, you cannot be telling everybody your struggles. Whatever happened in the house, stay in the house. Whatever happened, wherever stays wherever. That's something that we have to get used to too when we talk about loyalty and all of these subjects, trust and whatever. If you take your problems outside to your family, then it open up a whole new thing. Then you're not loyal to the person that you say you love. If you take your things outside to your family, you don't care about your relationship. Because guess what? They're gonna be one-sided. They're gonna say, oh, well, this and that. They don't know what's going on. Hill the beans. They just gonna judge. So I've learned to keep all of that inside, when it comes to my relationship. Therefore, I don't have a problem with loyalty. I don't have a problem with distrust and things like that. I'm not gonna say that maybe he haven't had a question, about some things, maybe the question or expand on or explain something I've said or something like that. But I haven't had in this relationship issues with that, and I think that's one of the main reasons why we kept our relationship with us, and that's just it.
That's the best way to deal with it. When you start bringing outsiders and even your best friends, it brings another personality, another point of view. So I'm not saying that it's not good to get consultation, talk to a trusted friend, but I just be prepared. You understand? Just be prepared.
Listen, I've learned don't even talk to them friends. I will go sit on at the corner and talk to somebody passing by before I talk to a friend, because sometimes those friends, and I was in this situation, a friend told me one time, "Ooh, you better be glad you my friend, cause baby, I have your man." I'm like, what? So I even
Thank
keep
you,
my
Melissa,
friends.
for the gift.
Yeah, I even keep my friends out of my relationship. I'd as soon go talk to somebody on the street before I put somebody that I know, or I give somebody I know any information within my life. Because you never know people's intent. You got to understand when it comes to relationships, loyalty, trust, love, and all that, you can't trust your friends, family, or folk. You got to just leave it right there. That I did learn.
we
Got
gonna
that
leave
lesson.
it. We gonna leave it
Um,
like that, Miss O'Neill.
yeah.
And for the majority of people, that is true. But there are some people that you can trust, and they won't. Jesus had 12 disciples, and only one betrayed him. So I'll look at it like
Well,
that.
all the other 11 dead, and they gone, so ain't no more.
All right. All right, Miss O'Neill. All right, so we've already talked about one half of it. Either we're going to become hard and we're going to be more guarded and less trusted. Now, the healthier part is that we learn to rebuild trust selectively. We have to be more selective in the people that we trust. And we grow stronger because of the mistrust. Hey, everybody, I just want y'all to know I see your requests coming in, but right now we're just going to continue to use the platform that we started with. But eventually we're going to invite other people on here to speak with us and co host with us. But right now, we just started on TikTok, so we're going to just keep running it in this kind of format. And thank you all for all the gifts. I'm not that smart on TikTok, so I don't know what they mean or where I can go and get them.
I gotta show them, y'all. I gotta show them. Keep giving. But I gotta
That's why
show
I got
them.
I got two people that are well versed and they understand. Keith and DeJoya, they understand all of the social media stuff. I just hope. But anyway, so we know that you can grow stronger and you learn to trust selectively. That's me. There are very few people that I will invite into that space. Not because I don't think that they're worthy of it. I just believe for my own sanity and for my own comfort, I've always been one of those individuals. I don't need a group of people around me. I feel a whole lot better, with very few people who are in my circle. Because I know I ain't going to tell on myself if I do something. So if
Well,
I'm
I be
telling
telling
myself,
on
I'm with
myself. I ain't learned yet. I
well,
be
you
telling on
will.
myself.
You will. But here are some ways to kind of deal with it. And I mean, they're the clinical ways and the experts and psychologists and all of these people, the greater minds to be, they've come up with these solutions. And some of them I agree with more than others, but all of them could be beneficial depending on your relationship, your circumstances, your background, and whether or not you can forgive or whether or not you're going to be always resentful because of that breach of trust. The first thing, you need to pause and process it. Allow yourself to feel the hurt. If you're hurt, you're supposed to feel it. I mean, look, a lot of people got these tough exteriors, but I'm gonna tell you, when somebody betrays your trust, there's something inside of you that just cracks in half and just get torn and twisted and all of those different things. So, and that's perfectly fine. Allow yourself to feel hurt. I've been hurt many times. It didn't stop my life. It didn't stop any of my success. So learning to process it will allow you to get on with life and be more successful. You know, you have to feel the hurt, the anger, or confusion instead of suppressing it. A lot of people try to act like these things didn't happen. Oh, it happened. So to suppress it only adds to your torment. The best thing to do is just to address it head on, feel the hurt, and once you feel it, and I'm telling you from experience, once you allow yourself, if you got to go in a room or take a long drive or go with wherever you need to go in complete solitude to feel that hurt, then do that, because once you feel it once, it ain't gonna be as painful from that point on. I can guarantee you that. Once you feel it that one time and get it out and you forgive, once we talk about elevating your life and understanding how to forgive, you're going to be fine. I can guarantee
That must be something that military junk.
you. No, it's just that it's life as well, DeJoya. It's life as well. Not only military, but military teaches you how to cope with stressful environments, and we all know why. Because you're gonna be, and you got the potential to be in a war overnight. So you got to learn to deal with stress. But those things help us to process it and get on with our lives. Journaling, which is everybody understands what that is, writing it down, letting it process, or talking with someone safe. Keyword safe. The Georgia was just talking about these people that, hey, I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them. They're talking about taking your man and all kind of crazy.
Well,
You know,
I'm trying to tell you, it's real now.
oh yeah, I agree. I agree, and I understand you wholeheartedly. All right, the second thing, after we pause and process it, instead of being resentful and allowing ourselves to feel it, we have to seek clarity. When we seek clarity, we want to understand why. As I said, we always want to know whether or not we accept it or not. You know, a lot of us do this, and I tell you from experience, we might not never want to see that person again, but we might have a mutual friend, or we might have somebody that we know. We'll send them on that suicide mission, and just to find out why they did it. Because again, as I said earlier, we all have that burning desire to know why this person betrayed my trust.
I mean, I just want to say this now, y'all, because we've been doing this for a while, and on here we're like family. And to me, it seemed like you. I mean, before I say this, I had to say all that. But to me, because y'all are just so the alpha male, you and Keith. I mean, and I don't know if this is a compliment or what. I cannot imagine.
Don't say it if it's going to embarrass us now.
I just can't imagine y'all ever being in situations where y'all were just hurt to the core because of the way y'all talking, the way y'all seem to handle, talk about this, and how y'all deal with me, because y'all know I'm special as heck. But
No, no,
it's
no,
just
no, no.
it's
But
just
go ahead.
I just can't ever see y'all, because I think about y'all as these big strong men. Y'all, look at his muscles, y'all, with little tattoos and stuff. I don't know about me tattoo, but I'm just saying, like, I no, but seriously, like, I just see y'all, and I see y'all, and I know y'all in person, and I just can't imagine
Well,
y'all ever
hey,
The
having to
difference
deal
is
with.
we don't show it, DeJoya.
right.
We get
But I ain't
hurt.
got to
We
that
just
point
don't
yet.
show it to we don't show it in certain situations. It's like, for example, it's like someone who goes to a funeral and doesn't cry. That doesn't mean they're not grieving. They may grieve differently. So people sometimes look at that and say, yeah, you're strong. Well, think about this. How did we become strong? We became strong through all the failures and disappointments, not because we woke up that way. So
Absolutely.
when people look at it from that perspective, meaning people in general, they'll say, you know what? Damn, they must have been through some hurt, because how did they develop that strong exterior? Because you've been hurt and you've been down and you've been in situations, I know I have, where you got to ask yourself some soul searching questions. I mean, I done been through things, all of us, I done been rocked to my soul, where you got to question everything again and say, okay, I need to really reevaluate all of everything right now, because this just ain't what it is. And when you have them type of soul searching moments, you just learn how to cope with it. It's like having a threshold for pain. The higher levels you go to in anything, you have to have a higher threshold for pain. A lot of people don't understand that and don't even understand what I'm saying. So some of what you're saying is just that Mr. G has developed such a high threshold for pain that what's normal pain to him is not normal to everyone else, because he's built up.
Because
So we
y'all are
so we
y'all.
can't compare ourselves to him, if that makes sense what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying? Like
I
his
don't know,
his
because
threshold is different. You
to
understand?
me, yeah, but to me, y'all are, and I guess because y'all, I mean, outside of my friends at work and stuff like that, and I do have guy friends, but like to have conversation with, because we have conversation on a weekly basis, and our little we talk, chat, and this and that and the third. Y'all are two of the strongest men I know. Like, so when I want advice, or I want to think about something, sometimes I go back through the lives and I will
Oh yeah,
search.
we talk all the time, Keith. I
Yeah,
mean, if
yeah.
I got paid for my counsel and my conversations, I'd be a millionaire twice over now.
Yeah, so I have to go back and search. And,
That
yeah,
was a joke.
we just gonna slide past
Yeah,
that.
ha ha ha. Yeah,
Yeah,
you already are however many times over. Ha 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 ha. But
yeah,
you
we
mean
just
the
gonna
advice.
slide
If you got
past
paid for
that.
the advice, you mean, yeah. Ha ha.
Yeah. So
Yeah, go ahead,
it's
people on the live. Don't let him fool you, people on the live. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he trying to be
yeah, we just
humble
gonna
right now.
slide past that millionaire
Yeah,
talk, but
yeah, I was a million. I'd be a millionaire right now. Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right.
I
Yeah,
mean more
yeah.
times over, sir. But yeah, I mean, I have to go back and look, and so if I had to think about two male figures in my life, right now, where I could take advice from, or that I would pull advice from, it would be you two, because I promise you, I don't know, I haven't had the luxury of having that many males in my life that I could really go back and like ask for them, other than my dad. And my stepdad is passed, and my other stepdad is passed as well. So, those were the people that I went and asked. And my dad is here. I call him every now and then. But he's kind of laid back. But with y'all, it's kind of more of a surreal thing. So yeah, I just want to thank y'all for that.
Well,
Well,
I thank you for the kind words that you
Real
said. I'm gonna
time.
give it to Mr. G. I'm gonna just say this. I'm a work in progress. The thing is that I just don't duplicate the same mistakes and the same things over. Once I learn something, I don't duplicate it. And I think the biggest thing that Mr. G said is that we have to separate emotion and logic. I have emotions and he has emotions. The thing is, I've learned how to separate the two. So how I feel doesn't dictate the decisions I make, if that makes sense.
Right.
The decisions I make are based on what the right thing to do is, no matter how I feel, right? So someone, for example, someone could have just betrayed my trust, But if in that same situation or later in that light, they're not being treated correctly in a situation where they should be treated fairly, I'm the type of guy, I'll still defend them, not because of anything other than what's right is right. God is no respecter of persons, so neither am I. So I'm able to categorize and separate every single situation because every single situation is different, if what I'm saying makes sense. Everything has to be compartmentalized and categorized because you can't allow situation A to affect situation B, C, or D because they're not the same.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, I'm gonna say this first of all, DeJoya, thank you for those kind words. We're here for you. You already know we big brothers and OGs and all of that. So I mean that touched my heart when you said it that way. But we appreciate that. But the thing is, as Keith said, and you said too, DeJoya, we have to learn to separate our emotions. When we make emotional decisions, they're always rash and harsh decisions because we're caught up in that moment. And when we get caught up in the moment, we do things, check this out, that we wouldn't ordinarily do. And that's when it becomes dangerous. When we do things that we wouldn't ordinarily do, that's why you have people and doing things that are catastrophic, doing things that are inhumane. So we have to understand that emotions are not there for us to react. They're there to warn us. Our logic, our intelligence, and our spirituality. Those are the things that cause us to act a certain way. Those are the things that we should employ when we make a decision, not emotional. It's been many, many years since I and DeJoya and Key, you all know when I talk and when we have these conversations about business, personal lives, and all those things, you know I'm not an emotional guy. Because matter of fact, most people say, why are you so non-emotional? And that's ridiculous to me. I just carry it differently because I understand things. I understand life. What sense does it make for me to go out here and jeopardize something for somebody who has nothing? Or jeopardize something for someone who I know has a vindictive nature? I don't do those things. Because it makes no sense logically. Emotionally, yeah, we need to beat the brakes off. That's an emotional response, but intellectually, give him a pass. Why? You weak. Oh, now, man, they gonna think you're a punk. It don't matter what they think. I've always said, you say whatever you want. You put your hands, when we get into Mortal Kombat, then that's a different situation. So I don't want to hop on that. So listen, so first of all, we've already said that we've got to see the reason why. We can ask the betrayer calmly, ask for their side of the story. Some cases, and this is hard to accept, sometimes betrayal stems from misunderstanding and they are not malicious. Sometimes you may not understand why that person did. They may not even understand why they did it. But as long as we know that it wasn't intended to be harmful, it wasn't malicious, then that will change the whole direction of our relationship. The second thing is to set boundaries. You got to protect yourself by limiting access to yourself. I tell people all the time, don't be readily acceptable to everybody. When I was playing professionally, traveling all around the world, Europe and all of these different places, one of the things as a manager, and my managers instilled in me, no, we ain't gonna accept every gig. If we accept every gig, then we're gonna decrease our work because we're easy to get a hold of. And that made a lot of sense to me. So even if we played 5 gigs in that week while everybody else was doing 15, our demand was 3 times the money that they got because it created the appearance that we were busy. So our demand became greater. The same is true in our relationships. When you're seeking relationships, don't become accessible right away, first of all, and don't become accessible to people without having limits placed on it. Share less personal information and step back a little when untrustworthiness has been proven. Just step back a little. You ain't got to run for the mountains. Just step back a little and observe and let things take place. The other thing is avoid rash retaliation. We just talked about it. We talked about not having emotional responses to everything that happens in our lives. Every time people get man, look, I've seen people just get so emotional, they can't even talk. They just want to scream and holler and cry and all of this stuff. I'm like, okay, calm down. But everybody doesn't have that ability to do that. They don't understand when you say that. So I've learned just to pause and be patient and let them get through whatever they need to do so that they can get to a rational and logical position. Next thing, lean on your support. As DeJoya just mentioned, she said Keith and I, which touched our hearts dearly because we didn't know she felt this way about us. We thought she was always thinking we was trying to gang up on her. But anyway, you lean on your support. I believe all people need a support system. I don't care how tough you are. You're going to get tired someday. And you can hustle for 40 days and 40 nights. On that 41st day, you want a warm bed, a nice loving woman that you can kind of lay your head on their lap and just kind of, even if you don't discuss your business and whatnot, just for them to be there and you know that they're there for you. So we need to lean on our support system. Family, friends, counselors, our mentors can help us gain perspective and not feel alone when we've been betrayed. So if we've been betrayed, it's always good to have somebody that you can lean on. And now, for the biggest thing. Now, here's the most important and the most critical part of what you have to do, or what you should do, when your trust has been betrayed. You have to reevaluate the relationship and ask yourself, and I know DeJoya already said it, is this relationship worth repairing? Or do I need to walk away from it and keep my peace? That's the critical question you have to ask yourself. Whatever you decide, it has to be based on that analysis of an evaluation of your situation. Me personally, this is me and everybody that knows me, there's nothing more important than my peace. I can walk away from $1 million if I know it's going to cause some heartache and a whole bunch of nonsense and dealing with all kind of ill-intended people.
Oh, say that. Some people don't even get that. They think you lying. Say that again.
Yeah.
Say that.
Listen, I can walk away from $1 million if I know that it's going to disturb my peace and I have to deal with people who are ill-intended, people who are not like me, don't think like me, and it's going to cause some undue hardship. I can do without it because my peace is most important to me. The grand architect put that in my spirit. He put it in all of us. That peace is the most important thing. Adam and Eve had a peaceful time in the Garden of Eden. There were no worries. There was no stress. There was none of that stuff. So I'm smart enough, not emotionally thinking, because she did eat of the fruit. I'm not emotional. So I'm not looking at her like trying to judge her. I know that during that particular time, peace was the most important thing that our grand architect put in place for them. So logically, would I be foolish not to know and think that peace is the most important thing on this earth? Think about it. There ain't nothing else more important than your peace and happiness. Peace and happiness to me are interchangeable. It ain't the cars, it ain't the money, it ain't the women. It's the peace. So, excuse me. Betrayal, even though it can be very painful, it can sharpen our discernment. We look at things a little differently. You may learn to choose relationships more wisely and trust more carefully. So it sharpens our discernment. All right? Now, we don't have to tell you all how to live your lives. Only thing we can do is provide researched information, our experiences, to show you that what works for us and what has not worked. So you can utilize it any way you want. If you don't need any of it, then fine. Cool. It's not for you. It's for those who may need it. So with that being said, I'm going to open it up to my co-host real quick before I close out. Do y'all have anything else y'all want to add?
All
I
I
don't
say
add
is work in
enough.
progress. We're a work in progress, guys. We're
We
not
all
perfect.
are.
We're still learning. Go ahead, DeJoya.
No, I don't add it. I don't add it enough. I'm good.
Yeah, you did. Once you got your situation straight over there. So
Yeah, I'm
anyway,
good.
in conclusion, when trust is broken and we are betrayed, we all know it can be very painful and hurtful. Ain't nobody been lied to, cheated on, betrayed can say that that made them feel good. We know that it's hurtful. Some people are affected more than others. We know that too. Some people get over the betrayal easily and move on. That's me. That's one of those people, I'm not going to try to get even with you or do something to you. That's irrelevant to me because if I have to do that, that means that my peace is being disturbed and I'm being more reactive than proactive. If I'm proactive, then I'm going to do everything in my power to protect myself and prevent these type of things from happening. But of course, there's nothing absolute in this life. So we can't be 100% sure of anything. So some people can move on easily. Now, a lot of people will say, well, you didn't love me, or this and that. No, that's not the case. Go back to number one. When I said my peace is more important, that's what's more important to me. Now, it's just like in mahogany. What is love if you don't have somebody to share it with? And peace. What is peace if you ain't got nobody to share it with? We would love to have that ideal situation, that ideal mate, and I have it, so I know how it feels. So it's a compatibility thing where you know that person is for you, they got your back, you can dwell together, you can prosper together, you can cry together, all those emotions that we experience. Once you understand that the peace is the most important thing, There's no resentment. No one's gonna feel when you say peace that you don't love me. Not if you're in the right relationship. So
Oh, have mercy. Wait a minute now. You got that voice like Billy D had in my heart. Just, just take us on out with that line again. Take us on out. Say it
yeah,
now.
let me go ahead and take us out
With
there.
a deep voice. Wait, with a deep, go
Well,
ahead.
some people just dwell on it, right? And they feel the effects of it for a lifetime. Now, there's no reason for that in my logical mind. That something happened to you 15 years ago in the way of a relationship or betrayal of trust that is still affecting you today. It shouldn't happen. But it affects people. But at the end of the day, the takeaway from this discussion was you have to forgive people. And when we understand that forgiveness is not a cowardly act, it's not an act of submission, it's an act of moving on, and you're only doing it for you and not for them. We enjoyed you all again, as always.
Wait, can you just say the line from Mahogany again?
What is it?
What you
Without
just
love,
said.
love is nothing without somebody to share it
But
with.
say it like he said it now.
Love is nothing.
Oh Lord, y'all. He's taking me
Somebody
right
to
on.
share it with.
Yeah.
Bye. Be the same. On the watch, on the bay. Y'all take care. Goodbye, and we see y'all
What's
next
wrong with you,
Tuesday.
yo? For real, you touch. You special. You special. All right, guys.
I'm gonna go
Thank
find
you.
Billy D. Williams
You
just for him.
special.
Bye.
Oh Lord. All right, y'all.